In this video, you'll be getting 10 of the most mind-blowing facts about the Pyramids of Giza. And trust me, I had trouble narrowing it down to just 10. You see, what I've discovered is that the more you look into the pyramids, the more crazy they seem to get. I will make sure you stick around to the end of this video because I've actually included a little bonus fact. But anyway, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. So at number 10, the Great Pyramid of Giza has a footprint of about 13 acres. Now, just for context, Wembley Stadium in London, and I mean the whole stadium, not just the pitch, the whole stadium only has an 11-acre footprint. At number 9, look, of course it's pretty big, we all know that, but did you know that the Great Pyramid is 481 feet tall, making it the tallest structure ever built until it was surpassed by the Lincoln Cathedral in 1311. And it's thought that the Great Pyramid was built around 2500 BC, meaning it held the world record as the tallest structure in the world for over 3,800 years. Number 8. The Great Pyramid is estimated to weigh around 6 million tons, which is nearly 36,500 blue whales, the largest animal to have ever lived, ever. And I know that is a little bit of an odd comparison, but you try equating something to 6 million tons. There's not many options. Number 7. It's estimated that the Great Pyramid of Giza contains up to 2.5 million stone blocks, each weighing between 2.5 and 15 tons. Now that's more than a double-decker bus. And it only took between 20 and 30 years to build the whole thing. Now to achieve this, they would have been working around the clock, laying one brick every 2.5 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for 20 odd years. By the way, it doesn't even seem like any wheels were used to move these blocks into place. So how did they do it? Well, the answer is we don't actually know for sure. Number 6. Now that's not the only mystery about the pyramid's construction. You see, about halfway up the Great Pyramid, around roughly 210 feet, we have the King's Chamber. And above it are about 130 granite blocks. Each one of those blocks weighs up to 70 tons. Now I am going to make a series of videos going into theories about how the pyramids may have been built, whether it's an organized workforce, knowledge which has been lost to time, divine intervention, or even aliens. We're going to be covering it all. But for now, just know that each of those granite blocks weighs about the same as 6 double-decker buses. It's theorized that they were transported 500 miles up the Nile River from a quarry in Aswan, which is fair enough, but they still would have needed to make the journey from the harbour to the Great Pyramid with no wheels. Oh, and also, let's assume that they hauled these 70-ton blocks up with a ramp and sheer manpower. Now, the laws of physics would make it impossible for the ramp to exceed a 10-degree slope. Now, for a 10-degree slope to reach an elevation of 210 feet, it would have to be miles long and would require more building materials than the actual pyramid itself. Also, no evidence of any such ramp has ever been discovered. Number 5. One of the entrances to the Pyramid of Giza is a 20-ton swivel door. Now this door is so well balanced that it can easily be pushed open from the inside, but from the outside the fit of the door was so precise that it became almost invisible, just camouflaged into the rest of the pyramid. And when it was located, it couldn't be opened from the outside just because there was nothing to grip to pull it open. Number 4. All 3 of the Pyramids of Giza are aligned almost perfectly with what is called true north. Now I say almost perfectly, I mean to within 1/15th of a degree. Now that level of precision is unmatched by any construction project in the modern era. Now in my research for this, I have heard some people say that aligning with true north isn't something that's particularly difficult to do. And it could actually be done with just a basic understanding of mathematics and plotting the position of the sun and the shadows and that sort of thing. But it still begs the question, why? What was the reason for this insane level of precision? I mean, whichever direction they were pointing in, they would have been a sight to behold. No one had ever seen anything like them before. And I just think that is what's so fascinating about it. Number 3. Now I'm going to stick with precision for this one, and there's a bit of maths involved, but I'm going to do my best, so bear with me. Imagine the side of the pyramid, a triangle. If you were to draw a circle starting at the top, and then come all the way around to the base, and then back up again, the area of the circle would be exactly the same as the area of the triangle. And this isn't the case with just any old triangle. The precise dimensions of the pyramid are the only way that this would be possible. Again, why and how? Number 2. Now this is where it all gets a little bit spooky for me. Let's briefly go to Mexico, more specifically the Pyramid of the Moon. Now this pyramid, halfway around the world from Giza, has a base which is exactly the same height as the Great Pyramid. This measurement is given as 432 long cubits. Now if you're into frequency and vibration and energy, then you'll know that 432 hertz is said to be the resonant frequency of the universe itself, the frequency of ultimate harmony. It's said that 432 Hz can heighten perception, increase mental clarity, and unlock intuition. Also, while we're here, the height of the Pyramid of the Sun in Mexico, which is 216 feet, is the exact same height as the Menkaure Pyramid, which is the smallest one of the three in Giza. 216 feet, 216 Hz. It's another harmonic frequency, and this one is said to help connect to higher spiritual energies. Now, before we get to the #1 spot, make sure you drop this video a like and subscribe to the channel to catch the rest of this series about the mysteries of the pyramids. Okay, the #1 most mind-blowing fact about the pyramids, and again we go back to the Great Pyramid for this one, and pay attention because again there's a lot of numbers. This is about the precise coordinates of the sarcophagus inside the king's chamber. Now, every location on Earth can be plotted with longitude and latitude coordinates. So the latitude of the sarcophagus, which is the one going across, is 29.9792.458 degrees. So let's use those exact numbers. 299,792,458. Well, in meters per second, that is the precise speed of light. Now let's look at the longitude. It's 31.1342 degrees. And this is explained perfectly by Robert Edward Grant. But basically, whenever we're talking about degrees, it's always related to a complete circle, 360 degrees. So if we divide 31.1342 by 360 degrees, we get 0.0864. Now, Robert Edward Grant claims that this number is a reference to the subjective nature of time in relation to the presence of gravity. But how? Well, we know that time is relative depending on how strong the gravitational pull is. Gravity appears to slow down time. So remember that number, 0.0864. Well, there's 86,400 seconds in a day here on Earth. And our sun, the object with the strongest gravitational pull in our solar system, has a diameter of 864,000 miles. So both the latitude and the longitude of the sarcophagus inside the Great Pyramid seem to be references to the universe. Now, are we just connecting the dots and finding patterns because that's what humans do? Is this all one big coincidence? Maybe. But if that's the case, then there is a hell of a lot of coincidences that went into building the pyramids. Trust me, I've barely scratched the surface. Okay, so I promised you a little bonus fact, and if you've made it this far, then you definitely deserve it because that was a lot. Now, this one is also related to time, but maybe not in the way that you would think. This is Cleopatra. And if there's one person we associate with ancient Egypt and the pyramids, then it's probably her. Well, remember I said that the pyramids were built around 2500 BC. Now, Cleopatra wouldn't be born for another 2,481 years in 69 BC. But here's the crazy part. On a timeline, Cleopatra's birth is closer to us right here in the modern day than it was to the initial construction of the pyramids. 2,481 years versus 2091 years. Now that's mind-blowing. Make sure you drop a comment and let me know which fact impressed you the most. As I said, I've got a series of videos coming up all about the mysteries of the pyramids. But until then, you can watch this one about how the Europeans built the pyramids. I'll see you there.